I'm Paul Perkins with the check of your ag weather. After highs this afternoon in the mid-60s to around 70 and increasing northwest winds in a few areas of light rain and sprinkles, we'll see those northwest winds increase to about 35 to 44 tonight through tomorrow. Critical fire weather conditions are in place for central and eastern Nebraska and north central Kansas tomorrow afternoon with the stronger winds. Tomorrow, our coolest day of the next week with seasonal highs up around 60. Ridge of high pressure boost our highs into the 70s for Friday and the 80s over the weekend through Monday. Fire weather remains a concern with occasionally breezy winds. Chances of thunderstorms, including some severe storms, increase Monday afternoon into Tuesday when low pressure rolls across the plains. Our daytime highs cooling slightly to around 70 on Tuesday. In a slight change in our long-term forecast, Nebraska and Kansas temperatures start warmer than normal the early to mid part of next week before dropping back to more seasonal levels late next week through April 23rd. Above normal precipitation is likely for Nebraska and Kansas Monday through April 23rd, especially the early to middle part of next week. Key weather factors the markets are watching include continuing active weather for the U.S., a mix of weather in Europe and the Black Sea, plus widespread rain in South America. On the plains, mild and mostly dry conditions favor spring field work and winter wheat development. Nearly a third of the winter wheat in Kansas is jointing, while 60% of the wheat in Montana broke dormancy. A storm crossing the western Gulf Coast drifts to the northeast, reaching Lake Huron late tomorrow. The storm's trailing cold front clears the Atlantic coast by Friday. Today, there is a high risk of strong to locally severe thunderstorms from Louisiana to western Florida. Tomorrow, the severe weather threat diminishes slightly while moving into the mid and southern Atlantic states as well as parts of the Ohio Valley. Steady rain spreads from the mid-south into the eastern Corn Belt. Additional rainfall should reach at least 1 to 2 inches in much of the eastern third of the U.S., with higher amounts of 2 to 4 inches or more expected across the deep south. Although a few days of cool and blustery weather trails the storm, mostly across the Midwest and Northeast, much of the U.S. experiences several days of warm and dry weather. Our next storm in our region for early next week is a new Pacific storm that veers towards California before moving inland over the weekend. In Brazil, scattered rain continues across the central and north well into next week, which favors the second crop corn. Towards Argentina, widespread rain, some of it heavy, may start to delay harvest. Overseas in Europe, rainfall is decreasing and bringing a needed burst of cooler air to slow down the progress of winter wheat that has grown too quickly and become vulnerable to frost. For the Black Sea region, rain is limited this week, which does not help build back the topsoil moisture after a stretch of dry weather. With the check of your ag weather, I'm Paul Perkins.